Well, hello, and welcome to the Points of Interest podcast. This is the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja, and right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis Fernandez.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hi, Ginger. Welcome. You're here right at the drop of the hat. Very nice. So I like that we don't do the starting soon thing that a lot of streamers do, where they'll put a starting soon sign up and then wait 20 minutes to an hour before they actually start their stream. We actually just go on.
Yeah,
Very
well,
nice.
see, I think part of that is how they get their streaming hours in.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. You're right. That's how they get the streaming hours.
I was thinking about that recently, and I was like, if I just did something stupid like that, the streaming hours would rack up. But that's cheating.
Well, you have to cheat well, now that there's drama happening on Twitch anyway.
I saw something about it, but didn't look into it. Didn't do any research.
It doesn't affect us.
Well, then it doesn't matter. No, I'm sure it matters. I'm sure it was something stupid somebody said or did.
Yeah,
I know it was
sort of.
anti-Semitic. I know that much, but that's
Yeah.
about all. That's about
Sort
all I
of.
know.
Yeah.
Alleged or was in the same neighborhood as. I don't know.
It's caused a rift within the popular Twitch streamers. You know, the Twitch celebrities are at each other's throats. In which, again, who cares? We're not Twitch celebrities. If we were, I would care, because then we're Twitch celebrities and I can complain. There was this one guy who was like, he lost a lot of ad revenue, not because he was a part of this whole thing, but everyone's kind of losing ad revenue right now. And there's this clip of him going, I used to make $10,000 a night. Now I only make $2,000. Twitch, if you want me to just make $2,000, I might as well just be a mailman. I'm like, mailmen don't make $2,000 a night.
Not a day. No.
Yeah. What is wrong with you? What does that even mean? $2,000 a day. Like, eat your soup, man. Eat your vegetables and just shut up.
Like,
Yeah.
that is ridiculous. You mentioned that, I think maybe the last podcast, one before that. I don't know if we recorded that part or not, but you were talking about how some of these guys are pulling in, what some people make in a year, they pull in like a month.
Yeah. People are making six figures. Yeah. No, 7 figures. No, 6. So 6 is in the 100,000. So 6 figures a month. Some are making. One person's making $1.5 million a month. I don't know what he's doing with that money, but he's making $1.5 million a month.
And it's not like some faceless YouTube channel that doesn't even create content. It just reposts stuff. Like, they're breaking in tons of money. I'm like, how is that a thing?
Because what we do is, because we podcast, which is not something that Twitch monetizes very well.
Right.
But they do monetize people or audiences look for people who can like react to things. So technically, you and I should be reacting to movie trailers. We should be reacting to influencers, reacting to or sometimes influencers will give news like, "Hey, by the way, Taco Bell is getting rid of the double-decker taco," like we did the last week, right? But they go into a massive detail, and then we would react.
They go into the double-decker lore.
Yeah. They're going to double-decker lore, and they're like, oh, what's in it? And like, well, did you know that? And then we would react, because that's what a lot of what I noticed YouTube is Twitch streamers reacting and they're not even real people. They're the VTubers,
Mm.
right? So they're anime characters reacting to a movie trailer or to a video game thing or to like, whatever. Some people will do whole movie, like watch an entire movie for a thing and react to the entire movie. You know? So
Mm.
we're doing the wrong thing by actually just talking about life.
Right.
You know,
Right. No.
and technically somebody should be reacting to us, but we're not popular, so somebody should be reacting to the stuff that we talk about, like the double decker going away, or like stuff like that.
But that's the type of level of stuff that we talk about here. Double decker coming and going. You can go other places if you want actual, content, I guess.
Content is just not the content the kids like.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
kids want us to be like, oh, really? Oh my god!
But that's the thing. I
You
think like most of the reactions on the internet are fake reactions anyway. Like how can you be any age and not have heard this song ever, whatever song.
although okay, yeah, I like watching reactions to new things. Like a lot of people react to stuff when it comes out for that day.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, I like those because those are genuine reactions, I think. But you're right. For the people that are like, I've never heard of Never Gonna Give You Up before. I don't know who this Astley guy is. Oh, I'm gonna listen to the first time.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, no, you've
I've never heard Bohemian Rhapsody before.
yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, you have. The movie thing, I'll believe. Like, oh, I've never seen
Sure,
this movie.
movie
Okay, I'll believe
reactions,
that.
sure.
Yeah,
A Pakistani villager taking him to a pho restaurant, sure,
yeah,
that's legit.
yeah.
But a teenager, I don't care. I don't care. A teenager never hearing Bohemian Rhapsody, no.
What's a Nirvana? What's a Smells Like Teen Spirit? It's like, yeah, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. 90s music and early 2000s music is like not like the oldies when we were in the 80s, right? Like when we looked at 60s music. Like,
Right.
oh,
Now, a teenager like
thing.
pulling up a fucking Beach Boys song, I'll watch that reaction because that's probably a genuine reaction.
I agree.
But yeah,
Beach Boys is in mainstream. Anything that's older than the last 30 years, because I feel like the last 30 years, everything, all of our entertainment has been pretty everlast. It's been pretty evergreen, and so like people know what the Macarena is. People know, like, it's amazing that kids know what the Macarena is. People know those things. So,
I'm gonna react to Gun Style. Never heard this before.
yeah, sure. Especially if it's a Fortnite dance, you've heard it.
Hmm.
And Gangnam Style is a Fortnite dance, so you've heard it. You kids have heard it. Stop being kids.
It's some of those reactions that they're not legit. They're just not.
So the other day I was off on the road going somewhere, and for the first time in a long time, most of you guys don't drive a lot, but there was a student driver driving on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Now sometimes I don't believe it because it's a normal, like, they drive normally. It's a normal car. I mean, it's obviously a normal car, but they drive normally. They don't seem to be like swerving or anything. They don't seem to be struggling. This car was struggling. whoever was driving for like the first time, or at least second or third time. And I'm like, I kind of wish I had a camera to watch how badly, like, is the passenger freaking out? Like, what are they doing? Because they can't get away with, like, I had when I learned how to drive, it was me and a bunch of high schoolers and this like 20-something, 30-something year old that was teaching me how to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And so
was doing community. There's some 20, 30-something year old that's doing community service by teaching kids how to drive.
Exactly, right? Like they're paying for some kind of thing that they did. Anyway, so we drop off there was a girl driving before me. They picked me up and she was driving home. And she gets out of the car and she's walking away, and he's like, "Look at her, look at that ass." And he was just like openly, just like, just perving on this young teenage girl that's half his age. And I'm like, wow. I think about it now. I'm like, God, you couldn't get away. You couldn't, like, back then. You're like, haha, I'm a teenager, whatever. You don't really think about it. But nowadays, teenagers would be like, predator or something, something, right? Like, Chris Hansen, they'll say something.
You
Which
can't
is,
touch me like that.
yeah, which is legitimate, sure.
Yeah,
Keep that stuff to yourself. But I really found it funny that this guy was just like openly like lusting over this girl who like
that's insane.
was on a drive with us. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, but it was just to give my age away, that was 95. So
I didn't go to any professional driving school. I was taught by my father gave me a few lessons in a little Toyota Land Cruiser on a mountain road. There was my friends that all had cars that I shouldn't have been driving with. Actually, were there law? No, there was no law about that then. But drove around in their vehicles. The guy that I was working for drove his girlfriend's truck a few times. Drove his truck a few times, but never went to a professional school.
yeah, it's required here. If you're gonna drive, you have to put in 6 hours of licensed, like the place that has to be licensed to train you how to drive. You have to put in like 6 hours, something like that, or maybe not 6 hours, but like maybe X number of miles. I forget what it was. So yeah. So unfortunately, I had to have so to do that kind of driving. So lucky you though, that it's just like people you knew driving you. Like I feel that's more comfortable. Like it's weirder when a stranger is like.
Well, sure. I mean, they're also putting their vehicle into an unlicensed person's hands and hoping for the best because they're learning. They just learned or are learning how to drive as well.
Oh, according to Ginger, driving school is basically a have to now. So I guess you do have to do like a.
It's probably best. It's probably best.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't know. Did your car, the guy, or like, well, okay, you didn't have it professionally done, but the professional car that I drove in, the passenger seat had their own brake and accelerator pedal.
No, my stepdad just drove me to the place, and then we took his car.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the lady got in the car, and she was just like, "You need to turn the radio off." And I was like, "Is it even on?" It was like the volume on it was.
Is this for your test?
Yeah, the volume on it was so low, I didn't even hear it. But I was like, "Yeah, I'll just turn it off." Like, relax, lady. Oh, God. Great old internet that freezes up. It's awesome. Yeah, well, okay, now he's back. Awesome.
That's weird because, yeah, for the test, it wasn't a 2 thing on the test, but for the driver's test, I used my mom's car. But for the training, yeah, it was a car. It was a specially made Ford. Oh God, what were they? Ford something.
It was a Crown Vic.
Oh, Escort. It was an Escort. It was a Ford Escort with like with its own pedals.
I mean, I've seen it. I saw, license to drive, so I'm aware that there were cars with extra brake pedals.
License to drive. Oh, wait, was that the video? Was that the movie you had to watch where people's heads were like blown open and showed you car accidents in?
Oh. That's funny. That's funny you brought that up. It's funny you brought that up. No, that was like now I forget what it's called. I have a list of them someplace. Faces of Evil, Faces of Death series, or like banned from TV.
Faces of Death.
Yeah, it was a series called Faces of Death that came out in like the late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s maybe, and it was mostly all special effects. It was all college kids in special effects school that would make scenarios. And there were a few clips of actual, death scenes, whatever it was. Then there was another series that came out that was called Traces of Death. That was all.
Are you sure these aren't Steven Seagal movies?
I am positive because I own some of the Faces of Death VHS tapes.
These sound like Steven Seagal movies. These sound like
don't they though?
80s action films, yeah.
No, but the Traces of Death series was all actual footage of, just death, whatever it was, car accidents, car racing, whatever. Disturbing stuff to watch when you're a teenager, but it was, it was like, oh, well, these are banned videotapes. I'm watching this shit.
Funny thing was, after, because you take the class for an hour for the test. I guess that's for the written test. So you take the class for an hour, and then my buddy and I, who went to the class together, we would go to the local Burger King and just buy handfuls and handfuls of 99-cent Whoppers, because Whoppers were 99 cents back in the early 90s. So, like, you could afford more than one, unlike nowadays where one's like $8, but like, yeah, back then 99 cents for a hamburger, for a gigantic hamburger.
The 99-cent value menu at all the restaurants, and they're gone now.
Dollar Tree's gone. All the dollar stores are gone. Like, there's nothing, man. Everything's expensive, dude.
It's dumb.
It's dumb.
Why does everything gotta cost so much? That's what I say.
I don't know.
There's a Transformer I want to get. Well, it's a knockoff Transformer. It's a knockoff of a knockoff, so that makes it like a fourth-party Transformer.
I really wish. And look, I mean, we weren't wise as kids. Like we didn't like hoard our Transformers. We didn't hoard our toys like we were supposed to. Nobody told us that they'd be worth something,
right?
Even like something we'd be interested in as adults. Like you're taught that you're not going to get interested in toys as an adult, right? Because you're going to be an adult. Little did we know, as kids, we're going to stay kids forever.
Mm-hmm.
We're never growing up.
Despite
Toys
putting on,
right?
You might dress yourself and put on this facade of being somebody, but really, you just want to go home and play the Transformers.
Play Transformers, watch cartoons.
Yeah, I was watching Transformers before we started doing this.
Transformers 1? It's
no.
out on like streaming.
Yeah, it is out there. I've already acquired that. Nefarious ways, possibly.
Sure.
But no, it was one of the what was it? Transformers animated. Just one of the various series that was out there, but it was kind of fun. Well, I was watching that before we started.
Yeah, who knew that Transformers would be like everlasting? Like, who knew that they'd be around for decades upon decades?
Well, yeah, and especially like the G1 kind of style. People still want that, which is great, which I think is awesome. Or G.I. Joe. Like the G.I. Joes that come out now have more articulation than they did back then. So you can, posability is a thing, I think, for collectors now.
Oh yeah. I know.
If you're gonna open something, you want it to be posable. I saw a tweet earlier about Star Wars, and I almost replied to it saying I never got into the Star Wars figures because they're stiff-armed and stiff-legged. You can't. What's fun about
It,
an arm that swings up and down? There's no fun with that toy.
they didn't bend at the elbow. Yeah.
No.
They just bend at the shoulder.
I don't even think they had knee joints. Some of them.
No.
And now
When
that
you sat them down, their legs are straight.
yeah, so it it wasn't. But the play sets, the big ships, those were awesome. But the figures themselves, I never got into until they started having a little bit more articulation, and even then, I was like, GI Joes are kind of cooler than Star Wars figures.
Oh yeah. Look, I just want to thank whoever stopped being all anal about keeping things in the box and like encouraging people to take stuff out of the box and it retaining its value even when it's out of the box.
Yeah.
Like thank you whoever did that, because yeah, you're not supposed to enjoy it in the box. It's not like the Funko people. I think Funko's the last group of people that like just keep their collectible in the box. Like, don't do that. Take it out, enjoy it.
Well, it's because
Play
it's
with
their
it.
personality
Hold its
now.
head.
It's their backdrop. If they actually took them all out of their container, they would have to get different backdrop.
Well, I'm waiting for it to kind of nosedive like the Beanie Babies. Like I'm sure at some point it's gonna lose all interest to everybody, and they're like, "Why do you have all of those weird dolls in your house? They're not dolls. They're Funko Pops."
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, right.
I almost made a super inappropriate joke.
Hold that thought. I want to hear it off air, man.
Yeah, let me.
Remember it. I want to hear that off air.
Let me just write it down. So
Yeah, John, I'll keep talking while you jot that down. But yeah, like there hasn't been any type of collectible like the Funko Pop, but it hasn't died down yet. I still see a bunch of stores where the only thing they sell are Funko Pops. Like that's the only thing.
Again,
that they sell.
That's their whole personality now.
It is for a lot of people still. Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing with the Beanie Baby people that saw a trend coming, they jumped on it, which I don't blame people for. I am fucking guilty. I was slanging first gen Pokemon cards out of my pocket, and what were those things that the Tagamachi or whatever Tamagotchi, yeah, whatever that, I was slanging those too.
Well, I hope you still have Pokemon cards, because Pokemon cards are still valuable. They're like actually worth a lot of money now.
I believe I have a small handful of Gen 1 cards still. But they've all been
I have a handful.
They've all been open. They've not been put in any kind of protective sleeve, so if I do have them, they might be beat up, but I have them. Somebody just made up something. I'm getting messages.
Pack costs?
What's that?
You know how much a Gen 1 Pokemon pack costs? Like a regular foil pack?
No.
From Gen 1 Pokemon? $350 for a Gen 1 pack. So, if you ever find one lying around, hug those like your baby.
Like a baby?
Flying around.
Sorry. I saw
your mouse is flying around.
Yeah, well, there was a message popped up. It was weird.
Go get that message. But it's weird that it's showing up on your OBS. That's so funny.
Well,
because it's streaming your screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Okay.
It's gone now.
Okay.
We're back to
Do it on air.
Well, it came from OBS. That's why, or not OBS. Yeah, it came from OBS. That's why, or not whatever this is, Discord. So I was like, what is? So the message came in on Discord, I think, but I couldn't.
Discord's just being an idiot.
All I know is that
Discord.
Shit was flashing into the corner of my eye and things were beeping in my ear. So I had to.
Well, anyway, what else is going on, man?
Well, Well, it was a uneventful week for me for the most part. So see how much this interests everybody. But, there is something to talk about. There was an event this past weekend that's something like 60 million people tuned in for. I'm sorry?
Did they?
Well,
Did they really?
they opened their Netflix app. They went to the Netflix website. They streamed it from whatever device they may have logged into, and were met with buffering, which was weird because the buffering didn't start until later in the evening. I figure the closer it got to fight time, more and more people were logging on. But the Tyson and who was it? Logan Paul or Jake Paul?
It's Logan. It's not. I don't think it's Jake Paul. I think it's Logan Paul.
Okay, whatever. That's what we're talking about. The undercard was a hell of a lot more interesting than the actual main event. But the issue being that Netflix was struggling. I don't have Netflix. I straight up stole the feed. I went to some nefarious website that surprisingly had no issues whatsoever. I had a second place, another nefarious site. I checked on them every once in a while. I discovered it was a Vietnamese gentleman that runs that site because his name popped up on his Netflix account, or at least the name he's using. So that was fun. Sure. But the first site I went to, no interruptions, no buffering. So I don't understand what the issue was. But everybody else in the world had problems streaming it. What I thought was really funny is millions of people are buffering, waiting. And then as soon as it comes back, they're in the middle of an interview with Mike Tyson.
Oh, God.
And he tells the reporter that he loves them and then turns away from the camera, and everybody's greeted to 60-year-old Mike Tyson bare ass. Just there. And finally the camera guy, after staring into fucking Tyson's ass for a few seconds, was finally like, oh, I should probably look up and not at Tyson's ass.
So I attempted. I made an attempt. I did what I said I was going to do, which is play video games. Like, I didn't really care about the fight, but I was curious about the buffering, which is the dumb thing I was interested in. It's like, how bad could it possibly be?
How bad how much worse can I make it?
And I did. Well, I don't know if I contributed to their, but yeah, I must have, because I'm overwhelming.
Yeah, you were trying to log in.
Overwhelming their servers. So I go on, and yeah, I saw the Logan Paul intro where he walks in in a car, like he's in a car or something. He drives into the
lowrider.
Yeah, that was weird. And then it buffered, and it was buffering. It was buffering. Now, mind you, I could have watched it without delay live, but if I wanted to see it without the buffering, I could have watched older footage and just kept watching the old stuff and just be behind. No, I want to see the live stuff. I click the live button, so it goes to the front of the little thing, and Tyson's walking in all of a sudden. When Tyson's getting introduced, he's right when he's about to get to the ring, buffer, and not worth it.
And it wasn't Michael Buffer in the ring.
No, he's UFC. You can't have him do boxing anymore.
No. Well, who's the other Buffer? Because there's brothers. They're not actually brothers, but they're like stepbrothers or something.
No, maybe you're right. Maybe it's the other guy who does
Because
no, I think you're right. Buffer does still the boxing, and the other guy does UFC, and he says, let's get it on.
Let's get it on. Yeah.
That's his catchphrase. Yeah. Not what's Buffer's son again? I don't remember what his catchphrase was. What is it?
Let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, let's get ready to rumble. Yeah. That's right.
I'm sitting here like racking my brain. I was like, what the fuck is he talking
I haven't heard the guy say it in years, so
There's a what is that? Is Michael Buffer and then there's the other Buffer, but whichever one we're talking about that did the boxing, he did the introduction for F1 in Vegas last year. And there's an awesome clip of him introducing the driver, Sergio Perez. And
Is it Bruce Buffer?
Bruce Buffer, yes. Bruce Buffer and Michael Buffer. Who's UFC? Bruce, right?
Michael.
Okay.
Bruce. Bruce is, yeah.
Bruce is UFC. Michael is boxing.
I think so. Michael's boxing.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Michael's definitely boxing.
Okay. So Bruce Michael introduces Sergio Perez, and the driver has the biggest confused look on his face because whatever Buffer gets in his face when he says his name. He like steps in, he's like, Sergio Perez, and the guy's like,
oh God,
and you can actually hear him go, I don't know where to go.
Wasn't there for rehearsal, man? What are you gonna do?
I know, right?
Rehearsal. Oh, that's so funny, man.
That was pretty funny. What else did I notice on there? I
didn't see any actual fighting.
Well.
So what happened?
I mean, usually I gotta wait till Thanksgiving to see a 58-year-old beat up a 27-year-old, but that didn't happen. It went the other way. But I don't watch the Cobra Kai show, so I'm speaking out of school here. But I did see that Daniel and Johnny were breaking kayfabe and sitting together in the crowd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
they do become friends in the show. So
okay.
It's not
like you said, I don't watch the show, so I don't know. But to me, they're breaking kayfabe by sitting with each other.
Yeah, no, they're friends on the show.
Yeah. What else do I got here? So the stadium that it took place in, I guess it's where the Cowboys play, and I saw people complaining on Twitter was fun the night of the Tyson fight.
I'm sure.
It hasn't been this fun in a long time. But football fans were complaining that they put up black curtains on one end of the stadium because the sun sets and it's kind of an open atrium type of thing. And that's apparently the home side of the Cowboys when they play. So like their quarterback gets blinded, or the receivers get blinded by the sun coming into the stadium. So they put up curtains to block the sun. So you'll do it for boxing, but you won't do it for your own football team. That's basically what people were saying.
Oh, I get it.
And then whoever the fuck Jerry Jones is, he was some old decrepit motherfucker. They handed him a mic that wasn't even turned on. But he's so out of touch with reality. He was, so, it was on Netflix, as we were just talking.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's so great to have everybody here at, my stadium, whatever it's called, and this, and to introduce the world to Netflix. Like, what? Just
I mean, Netflix Live, sure.
Netflix Live, sure, yes. But this isn't the first live thing they've done. They've done something else live before this.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. It was another sports thing, but it wasn't this intense. 60 million people logging on to a service that, they weren't prepared for. But here's the thing. I had the hiccups really bad. They have 2 NFL games on Christmas Day that they're streaming live.
Yeah, because at some point, football is going to be live on Netflix regularly.
Yes.
Like, that's the goal.
And then starting January 6th, WWE Monday Night Raw starts streaming live on Monday nights via Netflix. They got to get their shit together. Now, are 60 million people going to log in to watch fucking wrestling? No. But people are going to be tuning in. You're going to get people that aren't interested in wrestling, that haven't been interested in wrestling, see that it's on Netflix, and probably going to tune into it. You got to have a good showing. Yeah. Same thing with football.
I think you tweeted about it. Like, you think that they would test for this. And I'm like, I don't know if I replied this, but I thought it. Maybe I did reply this. I don't remember. But I'm like, no, this is the test.
Yeah.
This was the test.
That was your reply.
Okay. I was like, this is it. There's no other way they could have tested it by just other than having a big event to test it. So this is them. They're gonna have a more robust. I believe they're gonna have a more robust infrastructure for their live stuff, because they're going to be doing it regularly now. It's not just going to be a single event every once in a while. It's going to be every week. They're going to have live. This is the reinvention of cable, in other words. But yeah,
you're going to have to fucking daisy chain 110, 150 more servers together, or however that shit works.
Well, the funny thing was when Netflix announced that they had like 68 million people, watch the match, they're also saying, and it also screwed with our buffering servers or whatever. And we're like, this isn't something to be proud of. You screwed it. Like, you didn't, like, people couldn't watch it. I mean, they could if they watched it, 6 minutes ago or 8 minutes ago or whatever, but you can't watch it live. Like, defeats the whole point.
Like I said, I don't know where I was getting my feed from, but I had no issues. I was watching it, basically, I think I had a 2-second delay.
Well, I'm sure that the person who was pushing the stream wasn't doing it live. I bet they were doing it with a little bit of delay on their end. Maybe Possibly. It is only a 2-second delay.
Possibly.
Which might have been all I needed. But I wasn't going to play with it and figure it out, because who knows? Maybe all I did need was like a 2-second delay. I'm like, I'm not going to have time to figure this out.
Well, I mean, like I said, the undercard was a lot more interesting to watch. The lady fight that went on right before the Tyson fight was amazing.
According to
for boxing. For boxing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that was fun to watch. Everybody complaining about the one lady. One lady got robbed, and all these boxing fans on Twitter just jumping in like, hey, so for all you casual fans that are watching boxing for the first time, this happens all the time. People get robbed from wins constantly.
There was also a rumor that was going around that Tyson was supposed to take a dive anyway. Like, that was like the point of him to get paid and fighters, or not paid, but just his purpose was to take a dive.
I think in the first round, he came out with some fire.
Yeah.
The second round, he came out on fire. And then there's a point where they got tied up on the ropes, and that's where everybody points to. That moment is where conspiracy theory, where the fucking whatever Paul he was fighting, reached in and whispered to Tyson to step off the gas. Because after that moment of being tied up on the ropes, Tyson was a different guy. Something that people noticed pretty quick is that he kept biting his left glove, the thumb of his left glove.
I saw that. Yeah, what was that? What was
the commentators were concerned. They thought that he was already gassed.
Oh.
After the fight, they asked him about it, and Tyson said he's got a biting fixation, which I thought was a hilarious response. He apparently had done that quite a bit throughout his career, but it was very noticeable on Friday night, which I thought was a weird night for a big fight on a Friday instead of a Saturday, but what do I know?
Yeah.
I mean, even the slap competition is on a Saturday night.
Makes me wonder if there was a Cowboys game on Saturday night or Sunday night.
Well, there's no football on a Saturday, but maybe into Sunday. Yeah, maybe.
Sunday.
Yeah. So, but I did get exclusive word, Francis, that the whatever Paul this was, let's call him Logan.
Logan Paul. It's Logan Paul.
Okay.
Just stick with Logan Paul.
So Logan Paul had challenged Barry Bonds to a home run derby.
That's your joke.
Barry Bonds hasn't played since 2007, and he's 60 years old. So it lines up. It's consistent. There's a line there.
He yeah.
Logan Paul challenged Babe Ruth to a baseball game. Babe Ruth's been dead for 100 years. Upon hearing this, Logan Paul said, "Just give him some prime. It'll be okay."
Prime. I was wrong. It's Jake Paul.
God damn it.
Jake Paul. Okay, so Jake Paul.
When I was saying it, I was like, I don't think this is right. I think that's the one that's really good at wrestling. That I hate saying that he's really good at wrestling, but he's.
Logan Paul's the wrestler. Jake Paul's the boxer. Yeah.
Well, there was already word in the wrestling fan world that the fluff match at the next WrestleMania could be the Paul brothers versus Tyson and then some wrestler. And I would throw Stone Cold in there just because I think there's some history between Tyson and Stone Cold.
Okay.
But Stone Cold again. Well, that would actually fit because they're both retired.
Right.
I don't know, man. Is he a good boxer?
Paul. What's your Paul?
Oh, you're frozen. Well, you're back. I don't know if that guy's an actually good boxer or not because everybody he's fought has either not been a boxer or a retired boxer. So
They were all the stats they gave were they were all older than him. Like he hasn't fought anyone. Oh no, there was one 27-year-old that he lost to, but everyone else was older than him that he beat. So. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Does it hurt the legacy of Tyson? I don't think so. Is there a Tyson legacy really to speak of? I don't know. I'm not really a boxing fan. You know,
no, boxers always have a legacy. Yeah, he has a legacy.
I enjoyed watching him beat the crap out of people. You know, he just has incredible power and knew how to use angles. So if he knocks somebody out in the first 90 seconds of a match, well, I mean, it sucks that you paid $70 for the pay-per-view, but, you know, you should have watched all of the pay-per-view, not just show up for the fucking main event.
Well, luckily, this is not a paid event. Like,
right. Well, I mean,
have to have replays.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm just saying, like, even like a UFC event where it's, you know, let's say it was, I don't know, fucking pick 2 fighters in the UFC. You know, and it's just like, okay, it's $70 for the pay-per-view. You're going to just show up at 10 o'clock when the main event starts? Or are you paying to watch the whole card?
Oh, one of the Pauls, I'm assuming it's Logan because he's the wrestler, but one of them challenged Conor McGregor to a UFC fight.
I think that was the one that just did the boxing match.
It was Jake. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jake, he's like, yeah, let's do it, man. No, whatever we agreed on before, let's make it happen. It's like, okay, another exhibition, another fake showing of sportsmanship or whatever. It's like, I don't know.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I really, you know, everybody's been making jokes about, you know, Mike Tyson's punch fucking hiccups. Mike Tyson's Punch Out, the video game, and Tyson beating up Little Joe. I really wanted that. I think a lot of people wanted that. I didn't want anybody to get actually hurt, but I did want to see, an old peekaboo counter and just a mean right hook.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see. I mean, anything to just take the guy down a few notches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Lord knows he has an ego as it is. Like, we don't need to feed it with a freaking Tyson win.
Right. Yeah, it's it's a thing. And we spend a lot of time talking about it, but whatever. About the only interesting thing that happened last week, really. The other thing I did find interesting last week, though, Francis, I joined
What is that?
the Blue Sky. I went and checked out the Blue Sky. It's kind of like the grass is greener, but the sky is bluer or something. Depends on how you structure your feed. But so far, a lot less hate over there at the Blue Sky. A lot less hate.
I mean,
there is there's hate, but it's all directed towards Twitter.
Yeah.
And what Twitter has kind of become in the last, 3, 4, 6 months.
Sure. Look, I mean, my experience with it is it's not as I mean, I'm still sticking with Twitter because I get actual information there in relation to, like, it's not as easy to navigate. I'll talk about the technical stuff before I get into the actual content, but like, technically, like, I can't find out what's trending. If there's an earthquake, for instance, there's already, like, 2 seconds later, there's a hashtag earthquake on Twitter, and people talking about an earthquake in my general area. Gesundheit.
Thank you. The audio people are like, I don't even know what's happening. Well, it's because mute buttons.
Don't worry about it, guys.
Mute buttons are amazing.
So yeah, but you've had a good experience with it, though. Before I get into my
I mean,
a
good experience. I mean, it wasn't a bad experience by any means. It's funny that a content creator messaged me on there pretty quick to see if I was interested in any of their content. Like,
yeah, but that's Twitter too.
I know, but like Twitter, I don't get a lot of messages from people like, "Hey, you want to buy my content?" You might get a bot message, but not someone actually responding and trying to carry a conversation. I'm like, I told the person, like, cute, but I'm broke.
That's interesting. Why isn't anyone hitting me up with? Oh no, I have. I've had some ladies hit me up on there, and I'm like, I know what you're trying to do. I've had some women who said hello to me in my messages or whatever they're called, DMs, and they're like, oh, they're trying to slip into my DMs. No, I know.
No, they're trying to make some money.
What this is. Yeah, I know what this is. I'm not falling for it.
They're trying to see if they got themselves a little simp or, some sort of incel or something. And I'm like, I know what this game is, but I'm not playing it. So you ask me questions, I'm going to pretend as if you actually want to get to know me. So I'm going to reply just as I would talk to anybody else that was asking me these questions.
Good.
And I have it, like there's some like on Instagram that will do that, and I'll play along, and they'll finally, do you want to buy any of my content? Like, I thought you wanted to actually get to know me. I'm sorry. I'm a troll. Yeah. Remember, I am a troll.
Well,
I will waste your time.
I think for those people especially, I think you need to, because they're wasting our time.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they're trying to do something that's like, yeah, I get it. I get where you're coming from.
No, and what? No, what?
No, but.
Oh.
No, I will not fall for your tricks.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, look, I know there's a lot of dudes out there, and there's a handful of ladies that are horny for that kind of stuff and are willing to fucking, immediately pay somebody for some content. But, I have the internet. I I don't need specifically your content. Besides,
Not
you always
Yeah.
promote your content by promoting yourself naked and showing whatever. So if I'm really interested, all I gotta do is just scroll through your Twitter account.
I mean, look, not to get too graphic here, I guess, but like there's something different when it comes from somebody you have like a potential like connection to
Sure. No,
Right.
I get that. I
versus
get that.
some rando. Yeah. So
No, I get that. And
Yeah.
you know, good on the person. She tried real hard, you know, but I don't, you know. I'm not into it. I will answer your questions, like I said, as if you actually want to know me, but as soon as you ask me for money, it's like, yeah, you know, I'm broke. Can't help you there.
No, I was trying to look for the because they gave the numbers of the number of people who are currently
Oh, currently subscribed
like subscribed.
or whatever, have an account.
Yeah. So it was okay. So as of today,
Mm-hmm.
20 million.
Okay.
Twitter has 400 and something million, but those could be bots and like
Mm-hmm.
you know whatever. But also any of that 20 million could be bots too. It's not like
That is true.
Blue Sky isn't susceptible to bots. So 20 million. Okay. It has it's Twitter Lite. It was originally founded by the guy who founded Twitter.
Mm.
He was the guy. He's not part of Blue Sky anymore, but he was originally. He helped founded Blue Sky, and now he left. But yeah, no, it's definitely a safe haven for a lot of people who are kind of done with a particular political side.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's definitely a place where they can feel safe. But when it comes to hate, though, having jumped through the hoops of that place, there's a lot of hate. I mean, there's straight up death threats and like, you know, we need to find people to kill so and so. Like, I see a lot of that kind of discourse on Blue Sky, which is not something I don't normally see on Twitter. I mean, there probably is there, but I don't see it. Like, there's
Right.
just too many people on Twitter. For me to see it. Yeah.
Man, the fucking muted words and muted accounts and blocks is still a thing, and I think you should utilize the shit out of those on your social medias because it makes it so much better.
Yeah.
I've been doing it a lot this week. You know, I've had a lot of time to do it, so you know,
Yeah.
You
have to curate
curating Twitter back to nostalgia, video games, toys, and boobs. You know, it's taking a little bit of time, but you know, I'm working on it.
So yeah, I'm with you. I'm 100%. I agree with that. I think Josh's advice is sound. Like, yes, curate. I don't curate. I curate differently, in which I don't really mute anyone. There's a little thing just like with YouTube where you could say, "Not interested in this post,"
Mm-hmm.
and they'll show you fewer of those types of posts.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, whatever. I don't really interact with them. I don't follow them. I don't like any of their stuff. I'll just be like, well, it's on here. I'll just say less of this, and I get less of it, which is nice. Like, it really works if you make it work for you.
Yes. You know, you get a lot of you go scrolling, especially on the section of people you don't follow, but you know, here are suggestions of stuff. You know, here's Twitter raw, if you will, that's mixed with people you know and people you follow and people you have no idea. And I have to remind myself, like, sometimes, like, oh shit, like I'm on Twitter raw. You know, like, yes, I can say I don't want to see this still, but you got to know where you are too.
So I have a question for you then.
The answer.
Do you think that this is the typical, well, I'm mad right now, I'm going over here, but eventually I'm coming back? Or do you think people are genuinely going to leave from Twitter?
I think it's going to, just like everything else, Francis, it's going to depend on
while you're thinking. tongue stutters.
Oh, well,
For me at least.
well, yeah, you're frozen too. Now you can't hear me, so I think that's gonna stink.
So I can't hear you. I mean, I could see that you're talking.
Oh, okay, you're back.
Okay.
All right. Well,
There you go.
Swiss says he thinks it's gonna stick. I think it will, depending on what big people go over there and draw their audience with. I went over there and, I knew you, so I found you, and then I went through the people you follow, and I was like, oh, hey, I know that person too, or that might be interested. And then I just started typing in keywords, and then looking at, finding people that were on, again, Blue Sky Raw. And it's like, oh, I would like to see more of this instead of the shit I see over on Twitter. And maybe it could be a whole different thing I do over here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you have the opportunity to be big now on there.
It's true.
Like you have the opportunity to like be a thing.
I expressed my hate towards Starry last night and got a whole bunch of interactions. There was a nostalgia, like a discontinued foods, I believe is what it was, and they posed the question. Well, they posed the question, "What's the worst soda you've ever had?" And I said, "Starry," and then people were just jumping on the bandwagon, the Starry hate bandwagon, and I was loving it.
Okay.
I said, "Yes, let's redesign Sierra Mist. Let's take it off the shelves and rebrand it, reformulate it. Let's call it something else. Give it a shorter name, a flashier design, and let's make sure it tastes like chemicals. Go."
Tab is more mine. I hate Tab.
Really?
I don't know how Tab ever made it. Yeah, but it's a diet soda.
I don't even remember. I don't remember the taste of it. I just remember that it, Tab. It's a weird Tab.
It's like flat Diet Coke.
Yeah. I think I remember it like you take a sip of it and it make your teeth gritty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you had little bubbles on your teeth or something.
I kind of want to search for RC Cola again and have some RC Cola. I haven't had RC Cola in a while.
You might want to check, but I think if you can find a Shasta, it's the same company.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Or the Kroger, they got the big K.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's all the same company, like bottling company.
It's like the Yum brand owning everything. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
One thing owns everything.
Yeah, that's how you get a Taco Bell KFC and a Long John Silver's KFC.
We don't have any Long John Silver's.
No, I think they're gone finally. But there was a Long John Silver's Taco Bell out near the airport here.
Where else am I going to get my fried fish, dude? How am I going to get fried fish?
All the Taco Bell stuff smelled like fish.
Oh. Yum.
Yeah.
Oh, yum. Oh, man. How does a bean and cheese burrito taste like or smell like a freaking...
Like it has like an aftertaste
odd.
of fish. Like, what is this like fish aftertaste I'm getting? This is weird.
All the fish oil mixing in with the beans and cheese.
Ugh. God, that's gross. So yeah, Blue Sky, you can find us over there.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna stay. I mean, I'll stay, but because I've had it I had it before it was popular. I had it before.
Oh,
it was cool.
look at you.
But I don't know. Twitter just has some more information.
Yeah.
Like actually.
Well, I mean, it's been around for 12 years,
Yeah.
13 years, whatever it is.
People were like, I appreciate the enthusiasm for Blue Sky, but I replied. Nobody caught the bait because I kind of wanted somebody to catch the bait here. But people were like, oh, Blue Sky's the #1 downloaded app on the App Store. but Twitter's number 25. Ha ha ha, Twitter. And I'm like, well, yeah,
Because everybody has it.
Twitter and it's
Yeah.
been around for so everyone has it and it's been around for like the last 10 years. Like, what do you want?
You want a stat? Go back to when they made the Twitter app, and see how many people logged into that on day one or the first week. God, I hate fucking people that go for fucking easy clicks and stupid fluff stories, which I have one. But like the cat market, or the cat con that comes to town or something like that. That ends at that's the end of the news thing. That's not headlines.
Yeah.
You don't start the news thing with like, oh, we got this awesome fluff piece for the last 2 minutes of the thing. Stay tuned.
But the number of people in the thread who are just jacking each other off in that thread was just the funniest thing to me. And I'm like, yeah, no, they've been around forever. What do you expect? I don't understand this. I don't understand this post.
I will give you that. There's a lot of fucking mutual masturbation going on over there at the Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There's a lot of hate towards the Bluebird. There's a lot of hate towards the guy running the Bluebird. There's a lot of hate towards the dude that's going to be running the country. There's a lot of hate towards the people that are going to be his fucking, 4 horsemen of death or whatever.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying. A lot of people agree with you. But I kind of, I'm the idiot that like goes into the bad part of town. If you stick to the main streets, you're fine. But I go to the bad part of town just to see what it's like in the bad part of town. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm in the bad part of town. It's going to be bad.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
There's going to be normal people. Like, again, this is the last thing I'll say, and then we can go on to your fluff piece. But, like, I didn't know it was International Men's Day today. It's International Men's Day today.
Right, which I didn't even know was a thing to begin with anyway.
I didn't until Pop Base, which is a handle on both places, mentioned it. And they're like, on Twitter it was like, oh yay, men's mental health, that's cool, very good. I'm wishing the men who are struggling well, and blah blah blah. And then I went on Blue Sky, and it's like, men are useless. Men should just die. Why are men like that? Was I was like, same exact website too, same exact Pop Base,
right?
But the replies were like complete opposite. And Blue Sky was just like, yeah, men should just stop whining and crying and just fix their own problem. Like, why do we care about men? Why do we care about this? Like, why is this a thing? And I'm like, oh, that's really weird. This is a really weird contrast. So, I mean, again, there's definitely differences between the two places. But boy, oh boy, it's a show out there. I'll tell you that much.
Well, speaking of men's health, Francis, we didn't do the Movember, as they have started naming it. The No Shave November apparently is, too hard to say. So now we say Movember. You're supposed to grow a mustache. Well, we didn't do that, and I don't like mustache. You ever see me in public?
You have a mustache? That's a mustache.
Yes, but it's really short. I can't have hairs touching my lips.
It's a mustache.
Well, sure. But I'm not going to grow it out. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm getting to. Is that I'm not going to grow it out. Or my beard, for that matter. I have one. We're good. Oh, look at you.
I got you.
You got yourself a wooden brush?
Yeah. It's like the real thing.
Yeah, you're supposed to use wood
and
on your
like
face.
A knife.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. So you can, well, you should always have multi-use things in your house or on your person. The only uni-use, that's not the right word I'm looking for.
Close enough.
But the only thing in your house that should have one use is a fire extinguisher. And even that really could be used as a weapon if you need it to.
Anyway, so what is your fluff piece that you want to talk about that you want to end on?
Wasn't that the one we just talked about? So I thought this was just weird, and I have things to clown on it as well. But do you have? I'm going to form it to you in a question, Francis. Do you have issues, Francis, while gaming on your PS5 with keeping your pizza?
I had to have issues.
You what? You what?
I do have issues.
Okay.
Oh, but you mean keeping what? I'm sorry.
Keeping pizza warm while playing games on your PS5. No. I don't think I don't think most people have issues with keeping pizza warm or at whatever temperature they want while gaming. But Pizza Hut thinks you need some help. They have released free files for those that have 3D printers where you can 3D print yourself a box. And I don't know exactly how it keeps your pizza warm, but you can plug it into the PS5, which here's the funny part for me. I haven't been a PlayStation owner since, the sequel of the PlayStation. But I'm pretty sure I've seen reports of the USB ports on the PS5 melting and starting fires. So I don't really know if it's safe to put a 3D printed thing on top of your PS5, powered by your PS5. I think it vents the exhaust. I think it vents exhaust into the bottom of the box, thus keeping your pizza warm. Which I don't know if it's safe to put pizza on 3D printed plastic. I think you'd have to put some tinfoil on there or something.
Yeah, so it does have vents that shoot out hot air, but I didn't think it was that hot. I didn't think it was hot enough to keep pizza warm. It's hot air, but it's not like
I don't know.
Oven hot air.
I think it has a fan.
That's weird. That's interesting.
I don't know. I didn't really look at. I don't have a 3D printer, so I really didn't look into getting the files and seeing what's all about it. But I saw that it was out there, and I just thought, man, why don't they just?
Well, that's why.
What?
Well, that's why Pizza Hut wins the fast food wars and the UK version of Demolition Man.
Oh, because it was Taco Bell in the U.S.
Taco Bell in the U.S., but it's Pizza Hut in
interesting.
Pizza Hut in the UK version. And that's how they win.
See,
oven thing that you put on your plate.
I don't have to worry about that, Francis, because 20 some odd years ago, some stoned Pizza Hut delivery driver came to my house and left his pizza warming bag on my front porch.
You have a bag?
I have a Pizza Hut warming bag. Yes, sir.
Is it labeled Pizza Hut too?
Yes. It's got a fucking extension cord and everything that comes out of the bag. So.
Whoa. You plug it in?
Yes, sir. That's how it stays warm.
Wait. Do you plug it in into a regular outlet, or do you plug it into your car outlet?
No, it's a regular outlet.
Oh. Well, that's cool.
So that's what they do. They have them plugged in at this iteration anyway of Pizza Hut. They had the bags plugged in. They put the pizza in it. They zip it up. You take it away. You bring the cold bag and plug it in, and it moves down the line. Well, this guy left his bag, and the girl I was dating at the time, she was like, "Get rid of that," and I'm like, "No." Why would it? That's how we keep our pizza warm while we're watching a movie.
You used it?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have access to it right now. It's in a box, but
sure. Yeah.
I don't eat a lot of pizza.
Ironic.
But it is kind of ironic. But once the living situation is different, and I order a pizza, hell yes. So the extension cord into the wall will be plugged into my Pizza Hut bag sitting on my coffee table, and the pizza will go inside the nice warm bag.
I bet you could rig it to keep other food warm. It doesn't just have to be pizza.
No, anything that can fit inside the bag would be kept warm.
Yeah.
You know, like, so you had
you could put your bowl of pho in there.
It had a lid, sure. And pho doesn't have a chance to cool down. Ramen doesn't have a chance to cool down before it's in my tummy.
Yeah.
So for anybody out there that has a 3D printer and a PS5, you should do it. Send in pictures because I want to see what it looks like.
Always wanted a 3D printer.
I kind of do, but then at the same time, that's just another thing that I don't have room for.
Yet.
As of right now. I think I barely have enough room for the stuff that's in here.
Yeah.
But one day, it would be kind of cool to have something, in the garage. I figured they would take, a day sometimes, days to print something, depending on the quality of printer or whatever, the design. It'd just be kind of cool to be like, oh, well, the app says it's done, or, whatever. I'm going to go check on the thing I made.
300. It's only $300.
That's not bad.
That's it.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
And there's a lot
end. I mean, the most expensive one is $6,000, but that's
sure.
Good.
But I mean, there's tons of free files out there to build little toys or trinkets and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm sure that because it's some sort of CAD software that they're using to build all that stuff. So I'm sure you can put in, almost MS Paint style, just simplicity and still be able to print something pretty cool.
I just need a little bit of whatever the resin or whatever it is that they use to make. It's pretty cool.
Cool technology.
Right.
Cool technology.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, well, this was fun too, Francis. As it is.
Oh, good.
Anytime that we get to do this, even though we have to fight internet issues from time to time, but it wouldn't be the POI
Fairly
podcast.
Well behaved today for the most part, so that's good.
Yeah, we get through most of the speed bumps before we hit record.
Luckily, thank God.
Yeah, right. But that's going to do it for us this week. We'll be back next week, hopefully on Tuesday. Well, I don't have my schedule yet. So.
Yeah, hopefully on Tuesday. Yeah.
We hope so. We hope so.
You'll know. If we're here, we're here.
If not, we'll be here on another day. And and for the people that are listening only, they'll know really no difference because stuff just pops up in their feed. And they go, oh, yay. Josh and Francis are there. So do the like and subscribe thing because you should. Because they want us, they want you to say that, and tell all your friends and people, you can come follow us, and we, one day we might be able to subscribe to us. That'd be kind of cool. So, and we are trying to reach the old 2,000. I don't know why, just as a number. It's just as a number. But yeah, I don't think anybody saw the 2,000 thing. I don't think it popped up. So whatever. Francis, where can people
subscribe and other thing did?
the 2,000 followers? Did that pop up? I didn't see that.
I didn't. I don't. There's a little bit of delay. I have the stream up, but it hasn't popped up.
So it said it went on my little device, but I didn't see the animation. But whatever. Francis, where can the people find you on the internets if they wanted to do so? Whoops, wrong button.
Thank you, Ginger. Always happy to have you here. Look, at every social media now, except for Threads. I refuse to go to Threads, but at AKA the other guy on every social media. And then Super Eat up next tomorrow. So check that out. It's a live improv show that I do.
It's fun.
I can host. Yeah, it's fun. Josh has been on it a few times.
I have. Episodes. I'm not as good at the improv, but Mostly because I have an issue with embarrassing myself, putting myself out there sometimes. I think that I'm always the center of attention when actually in reality nobody gives a shit. But you know, it's hard to get over in your own head. But yeah, AKA the other guy for Francis. Find him there. Where you won't find me is at one place because I'm everywhere. But you can find me at Twitter at 303_ninja, 303ninja on the Twitter, on the Instagram, and on Bluesky if you wanted to find me there. POI Podcast at gmail.com, 314-764-7631. Spells out POI Pod 1. Call us, text mail, voicemail, whatever. It'll be fun. That's going to do it for us this week. We'll be back next week. Hopefully on Tuesday. Maybe, maybe not. I'm beating the music, so we're just going to end early this week. We're out of here. Bye.